Her feet are bleeding through her shoes, and she cannot stop. The crowds gathering in Strasbourg streets don't know whether to pray for her or run from her. Within a week, there will be dozens more just like her. This is the dancing plague of 1518, a real epidemic, real deaths. And a question that has never been fully answered: what happens when an entire community loses its grip on reality at the same moment? By the end of this video, you'll understand why the cure the authorities chose may have made everything catastrophically worse. To understand what happened in Strasbourg that summer, you have to know what the city had already lived through. The early 16th century in the Holy Roman Empire was not stable. Plague came back in cycles, killing without warning. Crops failed across the Rhine Valley. Famine wasn't abstract. It was a neighbor. Syphilis, newly arrived and not yet understood, was cutting through communities fast. And over all of it sat the church, comfort and terror in the same package, preaching sin and divine punishment to people who had every reason to think God was furious with them. The poor of Strasbourg lived with death on one side and damnation on the other, nowhere to put it. That was the world Frau Trophäa stepped into. It starts on a sweltering day in late July. A woman, her full name gone, known only as Frau Trophäa, walks into a narrow street and begins to dance. No music, no festival, no occasion. She moves erratically, arms flailing, feet hammering the cobblestones in patterns that make no sense. Passers-by stare, some laugh, some cross themselves. Her husband is reportedly horrified. She does not stop. By the end of the first day, she is still going. By the end of the second, her shoes are soaked with blood. By the end of the first week, she has danced herself to the edge of collapse and still can't stop. Witnesses record that her eyes are wild, her expression distant, like she's somewhere else entirely. Nobody watching knew what they were seeing. It wasn't the start of a spectacle. It was the start of a catastrophe. Within days, others join her. 4, then a dozen, then 30. Not together, each trapped in their own private frenzy, colliding with walls, with each other, with everything around them. The sound drifts through the city, rhythmic slapping of feet, involuntary groaning, like something out of a bad dream. The city authorities are faced with something no procedure covers. They do what institutions always do with the incomprehensible. They give it a name. Physicians are summoned. Their verdict: hot blood. A natural ailment. Their prescribed treatment is so extraordinary it's hard to believe, except it's extensively documented. The official cure for the dancing plague of Strasbourg is more dancing. The grain market is cleared, guild halls opened, musicians, drummers, pipers, hired to play continuously, professional dancers brought in to keep the afflicted company. The logic, such as it is, let them dance it out, exhaust whatever this is, go through it, not against it. They had no idea they'd just poured oil on a fire. The music draws crowds, crowds draw spectators, spectators join in. What was dozens becomes hundreds. Contemporary accounts put the peak somewhere between 400 and 1,000 people seized by the dancing at various points that summer. The numbers are disputed. The deaths are not. People are dying at several per day. Not from violence, but from exhaustion, stroke, heart failure. They are dancing themselves to death. Here's the part most people have never heard, and it changes how this story ends. The authorities, finally realizing the music is making everything worse, reverse course. Ban the musicians, ban public dancing across the city. The dancers are transported up into the Vosges Mountains to a shrine of Saint Vitus, patron saint of epilepsy and nervous disorders. Given red shoes, red being the saint's color, they perform a ritualized movement around the shrine's statue. And it works. Slowly, strangely, it works. By early September, it's over. The afflicted go home, to their workshops, their families, whatever is left. Some have lost weeks. Some have lost full range of motion in their feet. Some have lost family members who danced until their hearts gave out in a cleared guild hall, while musicians played and Sitia. Officials watched and told themselves, this was medicine. Strasbourg does not hold an inquiry. There is no official accounting of the dead. The chroniclers write about it with a stunned brevity, like they can't quite find the right words for what they saw. The bodies are buried quietly, the musicians paid and sent away, and the city moves on, the way you move on when you've seen something you don't have language for and can't afford to keep looking at. What actually happened? Historians and psychologists have been arguing about it for centuries. The ergot theory, fungal grain contamination, convulsions, hallucinations, has largely fallen out of favor. The symptoms don't fit well enough, and ergot typically causes contraction in the limbs, not uncontrolled movement. What the evidence suggests is something simpler and more unsettling. The human body, under enough sustained pressure, can break in ways that don't look like anything we'd recognize as breaking. And communities, especially ones bound by shared beliefs, shared fear, shared desperation, can break together. The people of Strasbourg were not faking, not performing, not going individually mad. They were suffering, and that suffering, with nowhere else to go, came out through the body, through movement, through something that probably frightened them as much as anyone watching. Communities don't shatter all at once. They crack along the lines of everything they were never allowed to say out loud. Strasbourg had been carrying too much for too long, and when it finally gave way, nobody, not the doctors, not the city fathers, not the priests, had a framework for what they were seeing. They wanted a medical answer. What they got was something the Renaissance couldn't name. The dancers of 1518 didn't go crazy. They just couldn't hold it together anymore. Which honestly makes a lot of sense.